Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey. And you're listening, Talking Downey with Mayor Mario. So today, folks, we have a very special show. We got two great guests on here that I'm really excited to share with our community. We have from our Warren High School JROTC. They're only in its second year. We have Lieutenant Colonel Melissa Gardner, retired colonel. Welcome. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And we have also here from our students, our Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Iris Ramirez, the top cadet in the entire battalion. Welcome. And welcome. It's great to have you both here.
Thank you.
So you guys, I am so proud of who you are and what you are, and I'm so excited that you guys, now you're going into your third year, right?
Yes, sir. That's what
So you were the very first one in Downey Unified. Mm-hmm. You were the first JROTC in over 20 years in Southern California. All kinds of firsts, by the way, and I'll tell you the story about the SoFi game. But anyways, welcome. Ma'am, tell us a little bit about what led you and got you here to Warren High School, JROTC. You have a distinguished career in the military, you retired, and now you're here still serving.
Yes, after I retired, I actually went back into government service as a Army civilian. And I felt like I'm doing more of the same. I had gotten my master's degree in education because that was education is near and dear to me, and had not intended to be a teacher. I just did that because I wanted to understand the education system for my sons. But that's what I decided to go into. So I quit the Department of the Army and came into JROTC. Started in Rialto. I've been to Orange County during the pandemic, which was interesting trying to do this all online.
I bet.
And then I moved out to Florida and then ended up coming back here. And honestly, this is the best school, the best district I've ever worked with. Very supportive administration at Warren High School. I love the people at district. They've been nothing but supportive for this program, so it's been really exciting to start a new program here.
Well, that's awesome. And you're right. You have the whole school district, but Dr. Garcia, Dr. Brosmer,
yes.
Dr. White,
yes.
she's a big cheerleader.
Absolutely.
And has always wanted, so it always pays off. So did you have, tell me about the challenges of starting from scratch. You literally had to, I remember you didn't have the room, and we didn't even have a sign on your door.
Our classroom was also our supply room, so we'd stuff cadets in there along with all of our boxes and everything. You remember that, right? Yes. Welcome to our room, squeeze in.
Yeah.
But that was okay. It was, you've heard the expression, building the plane while you're flying it. That's exactly what we were doing. We didn't have that time as being the unofficial unit, the NDA. We went into being an official unit that first year, which is very unusual, but thank you very much.
That's something that you're all proud of.
Yes. And with all the support, we were able to start building that plane. We've done an awful lot since I've been at so many different schools that other people have started the program. I really was excited to be, the person to bring in, all the good ideas from the past school and change all the not so good ideas, things that we were doing. You can't do everything perfect, so it was great to be able to bring in the best ideas that we've gotten from other schools.
That's great, great. So Colonel Ramirez, you are a junior,
yes,
so
sir.
You were there from the very beginning. Were you part of the very beginning class a couple years ago?
I was.
Okay, and so what inspired you to go? Obviously, I've got to know Colonel Gardner. She's an inspiration on there. But what inspired you to say, I want to check that out. I want to be part of this?
Well, originally it started as just something between my friends, like, oh, we're all going to join JROTC to see what it's about. As I got into JROTC, I was expecting fitness, staying fit, keeping my body in check for track. But then once you actually get into the program, especially at Warren, you realize that there's more to it than just, working out or people yelling at you like you think. It's more like you're building your own little family. And since we did start from the beginning, it's like we're building with each other.
Yeah.
So it was very nice to experience something like that, because not everybody gets that opportunity to build that type of bond with your class.
Right.
And in JROTC, you get to build lifelong bonds
Right.
with the people around you.
Well, from your standpoint, you're one of the lucky ones. You get to be for 4 years, and here you are, the top leader as a junior. So, tell us, what are some of your responsibilities as cadet, as battalion commander?
Some of my responsibilities are keeping other cadets in check, especially when they are in the wrong. Obviously, we're still kids at the end of the day, but in JROTC, you have to be able to mature yourself and outside of JROTC, because you are representing the people inside as well.
That's great.
Some more responsibilities that I definitely have and that I've been learning is my self-image. The image that I put out to people also reflects the way they view JROTC as a whole. Especially being the battalion commander, I have to be more careful about what I do and what I put out into the world, so that when people look at my background, they don't see something that they don't want to see.
Right.
So it's definitely a game you have to play almost. You have to be careful, but also still be yourself within JROTC.
Sure. Well, great. The leadership shows. Folks, JROTC, it's not about recruiting. JROTC is about leadership and discipline and confidence, giving our students confidence. So, ma'am, how do you see the JROTC program impacting personal development on some of your students that you see? And also, is there an impact on the rest of the school, whether they're not, even if they're not in JROTC?
A lot of people don't understand, that we're not recruiting. We're
Right.
definitely not. We're not brainwashing your children.
It's actually it's actually against the law.
Yes,
That's not
yes.
part of what it is.
It's not even what we want to do.
Right.
My main goal is every student, when they leave Warren High School, when they graduate, will have a plan. If it's enlisting in the military, great. I support you. I don't care if it's Army, Air Force, whatever. We support you.
Hey, don't talk bad like that. No, I'm kidding. No, we're all Army. I'm teasing
well,
you.
yeah.
No, there other branches are great too. I'm literally kidding. So.
If you are going to college, we're going to make sure you get over to the Career Center and get your FAFSA work done, get your admission applications done. If you're going to go to tech school, hey, what are you going to do? Have you registered yet? You haven't. Why haven't you registered? The only thing you're not allowed to do in JROTC when you leave is your plan is to go home and sit on the sofa and have somebody serve you while you wait for somebody to come knock on the door and offer you a high-paying job. If they're doing that, that's what I'm going to do, because that sounds great, but we all know that's not going to happen.
Right.
So that's the only thing I really push. What is your plan? You have to have a plan. We have our doors open to cadets during snack and during lunch and after school. Cadets can come anytime. They can bring their friends who are not JROTC. And we're not trying to recruit them into the class, although, a lot of times they're like, oh, this is fun. Like what Iris just said, I love the fact that, you feel like this is a family. We want that atmosphere. We have cadets outside of JROTC, because we're such a new program, either they didn't know about it or understand what it was, so they didn't, come enroll in the class. And for example, this year, one of our students, not a cadet, she came to me and she said, I want to follow in my grandfather's footsteps and join the Army, and I want to be an officer. And so First Sergeant Hicks, he's our other instructor. He and I helped her basically slam dunk her application because it was last minute, and she received a scholarship to Cal.
Yeah.
She's going to Cal. it's okay that she wasn't a cadet. I'm so proud of her, and I'm so excited for her, and I hope she tells her
I
story.
had interviewed her,
Yes.
and I was going to give her one of my Minuteman scholarships, and I know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You know, 4
Yes.
point something.
4.8 is like
on their GPA.
you could do that.
An athlete, and it's got all kinds of talent. I know
Yes,
exactly who it
yes,
is. And-
yes.
But thank you for doing
She's
that.
amazing.
I know the whole story. 'Cause she came in to see me
Yes.
and worked through you guys to get
Yes.
accepted. So.
And one thing I would really like to say, I would really like for parents to understand, I've got some of those high achieving students initially, they come in, but their parents feel like they need to take another AP Science class or something like that. And a lot of people don't understand if you're going to go to school and be a doctor and find the cure for cancer, yes, that's great. We're excited for you. But they see JROTC as more of a soft skill. We teach people how to be team members, how to be team leaders. If you can't be a team leader and you can't be a team member, you're not going to sit in a lab alone and find the cure for cancer. You have to be able to work with other people. The so-called soft skills are one of the most important things that are going to get you through life. So you can use those smarts you got from the AP class and from the big universities to be successful and make the world a better place.
Well, ma'am, I'm so glad you brought that up because it is. It teaches you skills that you otherwise couldn't get. So let me tell you a little bit about JROTCs. There's 1,734, give or take, in the entire country. It's one of the top leadership courses taught in the entire country. There's 20 that are sanctioned to be opened this year. Again, one of the things that the Senate, the United States Senate, and in the confirmation hearing with the Secretary of the Army, basically asked him, we want more JROTCs. We've seen the success. I mean, this was in January of this year. So hopefully there will be more. In Southern California, we don't have that many. We don't have that many new ones. And, you know, we're one of the largest areas in the entire country. Warren High School is part of the Downey Unified School District. Downey Unified, I think, has 26,000 students. That includes some of the adult school and so forth. Between 22 and 26,000. I don't have the exact number, if you will. But it's a very well thought of. It's a very good school district. A lot of continuity. Great board members and administration. And that's one of the things that they instantly got behind it. They're the ones that also wanted. I approached both the school board members in the school district and the principals, and right away they saw the value that this could have as another alternative for their kids. And then when they did that, the first year, so let me tell you a couple of stories about the first year, 2 years ago. So again, she was crammed in this little room. So I go to visit a week and a half later, and there's this cardboard sign, JROTC made, handmade on the thing. So, you know, she's new and trying to get in, but I contacted Dr. Brosmer because I've known him for so long. Hey, can we get like a real sign? I'll pay for it from Staples or something. He goes, don't worry about it. We'll take care of all this. And Dr. Carrie White, the principal there, she's been fantastic, big supporter. So, SoFi Stadium a few months later, okay? Warren Downey High School are going to play each other in the very first high school game at SoFi Stadium. Kind of historic, a lot of fun for our entire community. It was sold out. It was a blast. But so Warren High School, JROTC, was asked to do the first color guard of any high school in the history of SoFi on there, and it will be part of that forever for history. So the uniforms I just barely got in, but they didn't have the shoes and so forth. Our battalion recruiting, Los Angeles Battalion Recruiting, the Norwalk Station, they're literally taking off their shoes and giving it to our cadet students right there in the tunnel of SoFi. So they go out there, they made us proud. I mean, you and I were there on the sidelines watching this. And it was just a really cool moment, but it was kind of fun. And then one of the things that was really great, we were able to give scholarships away right there to present to, so the whole student community and parents and teachers can see the value of an education from that. And we gave a couple of $50,000 scholarships. So anyways, bottom line on there, that's a little bit of the background story. Thank you to Dr. White. She's amazing for that. And Warren High School, by the way, we have two very large public schools. We have a few other high schools in Downey, but two public high schools. We have Downey High School and we have Warren High School. I believe Downey is like the 8th or 9th largest public school in the country when it comes to enrollment, and I believe Warren is like the 12th largest. These are huge, almost 4,000 plus students down there, and I'm telling you, they're so well managed, so well organized, and JROTC is just a big component to add to the leadership development of the school. So, okay, I'm going to go back to you now that I did enough talking there about it. So, what do you feel participating in JROTC? How has that helped you develop your leadership in basically and even your own personal confidence about what you want to do in the future? How has this developed your life, for example?
Well, for me, I've always been a very socially awkward kid. I didn't like talking to people, especially not adults in authority. It always made me very nervous and very shy. But joining JROTC, you really had to get out of your bubble. My freshman year, which was JROTC's first year, I was the type of kid to sit in the back of the classroom in a corner and did not want to talk to anybody. But as I went on throughout the year, I was like, this isn't a terrible program. Like, this is something I actually want to try to participate in. So then my sophomore year, I actually participated and I worked hard. I talked to recruiters. I talked to other students about joining JROTC. And it was actually so much more helpful for me as a person, because going out in the real world, you realize you do have to talk to people and you can't just sit behind a bubble all day. You get to make new connections with people you didn't realize you could connect with. There's so many adults, especially recruiting officers, is that what they're called? Recruiting officers? That you get to connect with. Some of the ones I've connected with is Sergeant Duran, Anaya, and
she's awesome. I know her really well. She's amazing.
Nicanor and Delator. They are probably some of my favorite recruiters. They're the nicest people you ever met, and they will get you out of your comfort zone. So JROTC definitely just gives you an inner self-confidence boost. You don't realize that it's giving you a boost until you really go out into the world and you're like, I wasn't able to do this before.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys do a lot of extracurricular and volunteer things. I believe I read a number. There's 275,000 cadets in JROTC and about 3,800 instructors, and you guys perform over 1 million hours of community service every single year. And on top of that, you also have you're taught how to do community service and so forth. So anyways, JROTC has got a lot of pluses for everybody. So what are you looking to do? You're lucky. You've got all 4 years on there with Colonel Gardner, and you got.
I'm lucky. Yes.
So that's true too. And you got 2 years now of the top leadership on there. What are you planning? What are your plans afterwards, after high school?
My plans after high school is to go to the Army. That has been my goal since the beginning of sophomore year. As soon as I enter the Army, I want to train my body for hardcore. Not hardcore, but like over. I don't know how to.
Yeah, that's okay.
I want to train my body to be just stronger, both mentally and physically, because the path that I want to go down for my career is a forensic scientist, or more or less a forensic analyst, where you study the crime scenes.
Sure.
And that has been my goal for so long now, and it's where I want to be. And I know, for me at least, I already have a pretty strong stomach when it comes to like seeing crime scenes and stuff like that. But I know emotionally, I take tolls on a lot of things, especially when it comes to like children or just anybody really, because I think about who they could have been as a person and who they could have grown up to be. So I want to grow emotionally stronger so that I could be stronger for these people and get them justice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You should visit a day, shadow one of our crime lab technicians for the Downey PD. So remind me some other time on there. I'll try to connect the dots on
Yes.
it. We have an amazing forensics and crime lab there. Unfortunately, as chaplain for the Downey Police Department, I meet them at a lot of terrible crimes, okay? And I'm out there as the chaplain, and they're out there doing their job on there. So I've got to know them. They're amazing people. But maybe you should have a day of shadowing, or at least get an opportunity to meet them
I
and
would
see
love
something
that.
on there. Yeah, well, that's something. Okay, let's work on that, Colonel. Remind me.
I'm all excited.
Or you remind me about
I
that.
don't want to go with her. I don't have the stomach for it, but I'm excited for her.
Yes. So, ma'am, so tell us what would you tell a parent that's, sometimes some of the parents have hesitation. It's going to be the Army. You're going to browbeat my kid and yell at him, or you're going to, brainwash them into going into the Army, which is none of that is true. But what would you tell a parent, and what would you tell them what you're going to be able to do with their awesome student like that?
I would like for parents to know that we see each cadet, each student as an individual. I do remember Iris the first year, and I do remember her sitting in the back row with her friends, being very quiet, but I could tell she was just observing and taking it all in. What is this all about? And that's who Iris was her freshman year, and I 100% accepted that. That's where she's at. She wasn't forced to do anything way out of her comfort zone. When I felt like she was ready, and it's the same with other cadets, why don't you be, why don't you be the class commander?
Yeah.
Because we were just building, and teach them one step at a time. They know they have to come in front of the class to speak eventually, which terrifies a lot of them. It terrifies a lot of adults.
Sure.
I had someone tell me she'd rather deploy than speak in front of people. Like, okay. And I don't want them to be that way. But, first you just start talking to people in your little group that you sit with every day. And for some students, that's still scary, but they get through it. And we give them step by step and grow them. By the time she's a senior, she will be working with our first year cadets, teaching them march, teaching them military customs and courtesy. She'll be a teacher along with a leader.
And with that comes the confidence and the development.
I know. Right. I'm so proud of her. I'm like, why am I here? I should just let Iris handle this.
No,
she speaks so well. But I'm so proud of her, and I've seen how much she has grown just in 2 years. And this is not an unusual story. It's not unusual. You take someone who's just out of 8th grade, and they act like they're in 8th grade, and I tell them, we're going to treat you like an adult. Tomorrow you might act like an 8th grader. You might act like a 5th grader. I get it. You're a kid. But then the next day, you're going to act like an adult. We're going to expect you to rise to that bar. Actually, you're going to act like better than some adults. Is what and I see them rise to that bar all the time. All the time. So your child has a family. The most important thing that any student can do going into high school is to be involved in something.
Right.
If you don't want it to be JROTC, be involved in something else. But I walked out, as an example. I walked out one day. I was headed towards the library, and there was always a student that sat on the ground outside of my classroom and leaned up against the brick wall and ate her lunch. Ate her lunch by herself. And I stopped, and it was a cold, rainy day, and I stopped and I looked at her and I go, "What are you doing out here? Go in that classroom and eat. You don't have to be in this program. Just go sit in there and eat." Well, now she's a cadet because she made friends. No one, recruited her or, forced her or
You
anything
treated
like
her
that.
like a human being.
She felt at
Connection,
home in there, exactly. So that's what your children will grow up to be adults. I can't stand the idea of a student being treated like a child and hand being held and not being taking responsibility for their actions, and then they walk across that stage at graduation and they get to the other side and all of a sudden they have to know how to do all this stuff. Like, no, we never taught them. We never gave them an opportunity. We babied them, and now they're out in the adult world, and that's got to be scary to be out there and not have the tools. So that's probably the biggest thing you're going to get coming through a program. We can make adjustments that your core math and core English classes, they can't do that because they're teaching you math and English. And we can stop and make adjustments and cater to the individual.
Well, and as you can see, you know, Colonel Gardner, she's a great lady. I've got to know her really well in the last couple of years, and I love her dearly, I think. But she also has that respect for children. And this sounds, okay, she's a mom. She's a great mom, okay? So she's coming from a mom heart, but with the military discipline and know-how, okay, as a retired lieutenant colonel on there. So thank you. So anybody, parents, if you're listening on there, you're not going to get anybody better to help your kids. So, okay, so I want to ask you now, what goals do you have for yourself and for the program for this upcoming year under your leadership as the battalion commander?
Some goals I have for myself is definitely to get more cadets to actually participate, because I feel like these first 2 years there was a lot of cadets that were in the program and they dressed but they weren't really involved. I definitely want more involvement from all of our cadets. I don't care if they're senior, a freshman, it doesn't matter. Right. As long as you involve yourself and make yourself feel like this is somewhere you want to be, that's all I want from them. But something else I want from our cadets is definitely just to see them go out and be proud of who they are in the uniform. Because I know a lot of cadets, after our class, they would change out and they would just be like, oh, the uniform's ugly, so I don't want to wear it.
Oh, okay.
I want them to be proud of what they wear and who they represent by wearing it.
Right.
I don't want them to go out just to their friends and be like, don't judge me because of the uniform. I want them to be, you know, confident in who they are. I don't want to see many cadets running around with their shirts untucked, open. I want to see them actually dress out and be proud.
It's discipline, yes.
I definitely would also like to see a bunch of more cadets involved in our color guard, because I feel like it was always the same rotation of kids and barely a rotation. I want to see more kids get involved in the Raiders, because I feel like our Raiders team could actually be really good if we had that motivation. I feel like
explain what that is.
Oh, Raiders is our fitness team. They're supposed to work out, run miles as a group.
Right.
I feel like last year they weren't as together and they separated. You know, some people would be in our cardio room, some people would be on the track, some people would be in the weight room. They were never officially as a team. Besides our girls team, I feel like that was the most of our team we could get. We all worked out individually, but we all still came together. You know, we talked, we communicated, we made sure that everybody else was doing what they were supposed to do. Along with our color guard, I would also like to see an expansion of it, because, like I said, it is the same rotation of people. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but it does get tiring. I was in that rotation of people, and it does get tiring having color guards back to back and nobody to just switch out with you. Knowing that I am somebody that people could rely on, I never wanted to cancel on anybody. I made sure I was there when I could be, and if I absolutely could not be there, then I felt bad, because I didn't want them to have that pressure of having to go find somebody. So I don't want that same kind of pressure for future cadets. I want them to feel like they could, you know, be there when they can, and when they can't, they don't feel such pressure of, I just let my team down. I definitely want just comfortability for my cadets.
Sure. Well, you guys have done a great job as the color guard, and you're in high demand, and hopefully we can have you guys do the parade again this year, the Christmas parade with all your decks. That was always a lot of fun.
Could I add to something that she
Sure,
said?
no, of course.
You know, what Iris was just talking about, she's identified all the issues, the good things and the things we want to change.
Yeah.
Iris did that. I didn't sit down and tell her, you have to do this and you have to do, I didn't do that. You want a color guard? great. I'm here to support you 1,000%. Go for it.
Yeah.
You want a Raider team? Great. And so when you allow them to form it
Right.
and to run it, then they're gonna.
They're going to have ownership. They're going to have stock
Right.
in it.
Wait a minute. I want more people on here. I'm tired. Great. Go find more people for the color guard. Wait. We could have gone first place in our Raider competition. And by the way, the girls. They pulled a Humvee. That was part of their Raider. I like, this is the only sport in high school where you can pull a Humvee.
Yes.
They did it. They learned that yes, we need more practice and we need to be more serious. And now they're going to take that learning into the future with them.
Yeah.
I can't make them learn, but I can give them an experience and a support.
Yeah.
So that they can learn this for
That's
themselves.
awesome. Well, I can tell you, I've been blessed. Thank you for inviting me. I've gone to their last two end of the year awards recognition, and to see the enthusiasm, see the camaraderie, to see the participation there, not only with all your cadets, but you see the families and the parents on there. That's pretty awesome. It makes you. I'm so proud because you and I were there from the very beginning, but you've done it. But I'm just so proud. So you guys will always be the one that I love Downey High School too. Okay, that's a whole different story going on there. But Dr. Carrie White, Warren High School rocks. Anyways,
yes.
She's an amazing cheerleader.
She
not only
is.
for that, but she's for the whole program, but for all her students.
whole school,
She's a great leader on there. So to conclude on there, what final things I'll start off with you on there? Would you tell the camera what would you say to other students considering joining JROTC? Why should they or why would they? And to the parents of those students, any final words you would have for them directly?
To the cadets and future ones, and to those that are questioning if they want to be cadets, I say join. Learn what you can first semester, and if you don't like it, you can leave. Parents, I need you to give your kids just a tad bit of freedom and let them learn who they are as a person. If joining JROTC but forms them to who they really want to be and forms that confidence to show who they want to be, let them, because you're only going to downfall on your kids if you don't allow them to learn by themselves and grow by themselves.
Well, thank you so much for that. And ma'am, I'm going to put the same questions to you on it. What would you say to parents and then also to the kids that are considering joining?
Our motto in JROTC is to motivate young people to be better citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is truly what we're attempting to do. Last year, our JROTC cadets, approximately 85, ended the year with over 2,600 hours of community service. So they've reached out, they've made connections with their community, they've made connections with each other, and they made connections with everybody, the teachers and admin at Warren High School. So those connections, scientifically proven connections, are what make life worth living. So for students, we'll bring it down to a less philosophical level. I agree with Iris. Come on out and try JROTC. You get your PE credit for doing it, so you haven't lost anything there. It's also a G elective, so you can still get into college. And as we continue to develop the program and develop teams, the credit can also go toward, we're working on it, who will go towards other areas that you have to have in order to graduate or go to college. So you haven't lost anything. You've made friends. We still love and welcome the people, the cadets who have had to move on to other classes or make choices, because we do have to make choices. But come give us a try.
Right. And you guys have had, the first year you had a cybersecurity training thing and a drone training, and there's some STEM classes and things like that. So there's a lot of other things that can happen and happen within the program on there. So I'm always encouraged by that too.
Right, right. Yeah, we have, everything from the Raiders, where that's a fitness team and you get down and dirty and you can crawl in the mud and crawl over walls. If we do great, the Army sent us to Georgia for the big competition. We've got our online academic and leadership, where if we make it to the final level, the Army sends us to Washington, D.C. in the summer to compete at that third level. We are getting drones this year. We got a VEX robot over the summer. So I know our middle schools use VEX, and so we want to bring you guys in. I need your help with those robots. And we're headed. There's a cybersecurity program, and the teacher at Warren wants to team up so that we can have an awesome cybersecurity team. We've got so much going on. There's so much out there, and we've got something that should appeal to everybody.
Good. Well, you guys are awesome representation of what the program is, and
Thanks.
ma'am, you've been a leader for many, many years in service to our country. So thank you for that. But then you continue to serve and serve our young people, and it's amazing. And from your standpoint, thank you. Thank you for taking on the leadership role. You don't have to do that, but I know that there'll be a lot of good benefits coming to you as you continue your career. So folks, if you're watching this, we're talking about Warren High School, JROTC, going into its third year. Amazing program. We're so blessed to have them. It couldn't happen without the leadership of DUSD and then Dr. Carrie White, the principal at Warren, but these amazing people here that are running, Lieutenant Colonel Gardner and Lieutenant Colonel Iris Ramirez on there, that is now the cadet, the battalion commander there. So, and we have Sergeant Hicks. And JROTC, how the instructors are, you have an officer and you have an enlisted on there. So there's usually a team, so our cadets get to see a little bit of variation from two different skill sets too. So anyways, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. I always put up my cell phone, 562-706-4114, 562-706-4114. Thank you so much. We appreciate having you here. We'll be talking later on, and feel free to share this. And I will, and I want to make sure that you both are recognized for the good things you're doing for our students at Warren High School. So
Thank you.
thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Talking Downey with Mayor Mario.